On this episode of SoFlo Vegans Experience, we look at what the state of Florida is doing to preserve the Everglades. Dr. Saliesh Rao shares what motivated him to start the 2026 project. A South Florida vegan bodybuilder stars in a BBC reality series, and a major supermarket chain is closing all of its Florida stores. All of this and more on the SoFlo Vegans Experience. SoFlo Vegans Experience lets you know what's going on in our growing South Florida community, as well as some of the big things that are happening in the vegan community around the globe. New episodes can be found by visiting SoFloVegans.com. I'm your host, Sean Russell, and welcome to the show. The state of Florida is buying 20,000 acres in western Broward County that holds plans to drill for oil in the Everglades. The land was previously owned by Cantor Real Estate that won approval for an exploratory oil well that was opposed by 72 environmental groups and local governments. This purchase protects the Everglades and the drinking water for millions of South Floridians. The price of the purchase is estimated at $16.56 million to $18 million. According to Governor Ron DeSantis, this will be the largest wetlands acquisition in a decade. This is significant because the Everglades provides habitat for the largest amount of different species in North America. Since being elected, DeSantis has installed a pro-environment board at South Florida's Water Management District, established a task force to address toxic algae, devoted additional resources to address climate change, and increased funding for Everglades restoration. He also appointed respected University of Florida researcher Thomas Fraser as the state's first chief science officer. But it hasn't all been good news, with Governor DeSantis receiving a D grade by the Sierra Club for his support for new toll roads that cut through the habitat of panthers and bears, and lack of initiatives that reduce the state's reliance on fossil fuels. We recently interviewed legendary environmentalist Dr. Saliesh Rao for our SoFlo Vegans podcast. In the episode, we discussed why animal agriculture is the leading cause of climate change, as well as other topics surrounding the environment and veganism. In this clip, Dr. Rao explains how he came up with the 2026 project.
2016 is when I did the calculations, and then I was reading a story to my granddaughter in bed, and at the end of the story she asked me, "Grandpa, who were the first human beings?" And I have promised her that I'll never ever lie to her. So I tried to explain to her about evolution. I said, imagine that you're standing on the street and you're holding your mom by your hand, and you ask your mom to bring her mom to stand by her side, and you create a long line of mothers on this side of the street. And on the other side of the street, you ask a chimpanzee to do the same thing with her mother and her grandmother and so on. I said, by the time these two lines go from Phoenix to Tucson, there'll be only one single line. Because both lines are going to merge. So immediately she sat up in bed. She said, "What? Are you telling me that animals are my family?" And I said, "Yeah, now that you put it that way, they are your family." She said, then why are people eating my family? "Grandpa, make them stop. They're eating my family." And she was 6 years old. And she was bawling her eyes out. And I told her, "Kimaya, this is what I do. This is my job. My job is to make them stop." She said, "This is your job? You know you haven't done your job. When are you going to do your job?" And I said, "I have to do it by 2026, otherwise we are all in big trouble." Because that number was in my head at that time. She said, "Promise, will you promise me that the world will be vegan by 2026? I said, "Okay, I'll promise you that." "Will you give me a pinky promise?" I said, "Sure, I'll give you a pinky promise." And she said, "You can never, ever break a pinky promise." And then she went to sleep. That's how the project started. Okay? I see it as a promise from my generation to her generation, saying that we are going to sort this out before we leave this planet.
Be sure to tune in every Friday and subscribe to our SoFlo Vegans podcast to listen to our interviews with a growing number of environmentalists, doctors, athletes, and vegan advocates. South Florida native Corinne Sutton is currently one of 5 cast members on a new vegan reality series, Ville. This BBC Three series follows 5 vegans traveling through South Wales as they try to convert meat eaters to a plant-based lifestyle. I was able to catch up with Corinne over the phone during his 5 a.m. cardio workout to ask him about his experience.
How did you first get approached to be on the show?
Pretty much the producers just they sent me a message on WhatsApp, and they asked me, like, hey, would you like to participate in a three-part documentary series called Ville, where, you know, you're going to try to, you know, represent veganism in the way you do, from bodybuilding to helping families and really spreading out the message. So I was like, yeah, sure, you know, no doubt. But I didn't know it was in the UK until they told me, like, the location. And I was just like, wow, like, really? And they're like, yeah, you know. And so I went ahead and did it. And they did the recording last year in May. And I was out in the UK for about 2 or 3 weeks, living in a home with 4 other people, which is Joey Carbstrong, Danny Shepard, Ricky Lemon, and Jody Anderson, yeah. And we were just living in that home and, you know, really trying to convert the whole town we were in Wales, so the whole town to go vegan.
You can check out the series trailer and our full interview with Corinne in our show notes, and watch all 3 episodes of the series on YouTube. And in a bit of sad news, Lucky's Market will be closing all of their stores in Florida as of February 12th. Only the company's West Melbourne store will remain open. In Florida, this impacts their locations in Coral Springs, Oakland Park, and Plantation. This closure will impact 2,500 employees. And the cause of this closure is being attributed to the supermarket giant Kroger pulling its support from the chain. They will be having a 25% off merchandise liquidation sale starting Wednesday, January 22nd, so be sure to stop by and get some discounted items. SoFlo Vegans is excited to partner with Fit Miami Fest in Wynwood. This event is taking place Saturday, January 25th through Sunday, January 26th at Manor Wynwood. It features over 50 vendors and upwards of 50 classes, speakers, and workshops. We're giving away a pair of tickets to the first person that types the phrase Fit Miami in the comment sections of our website show notes. So go to SoFloVegans.com and click for today's article and leave your comment. The winner will be announced on our Facebook and Instagram stories Wednesday night. For more information on Fit Miami Fest and to get your tickets, go to FitMiamiFest.com. It's the question of the day. Question of the day. Everybody, hey, what's the question of the day? And the question of the day is, if you could bring one vegan restaurant chain to South Florida, what would it be and why? Leave your questions in the comments for a chance to win one of our vegan flag wristbands. So subscribe, click that notification icon, and we'll see you next time.